Hey guys, welcome to the Dad Shoes podcast, the dad group you don't have to go to.
Jage, how's your family adjusting to daylight savings time?
In a very strange way.
A strange way.
Our family's going the opposite until today. We
Wait, so you decided to spring back instead of falling? Fall forward?
Our clock sprang ahead, right? So we lost an hour. So when bedtime should have been at 8:00, right? Or like bedtime is at 8:00, but it would only have been 7:00 on Saturday. It was then 8:00 on Sunday. So we had a very energy-filled day on Sunday. We played outside for like 3 hours. And they were playing outside in the morning, and then we went down to my mom's so we could play outside.
Run them around.
And so we got in the car to leave my mom's house at like 7, which would have been 6 the day before.
Sure.
And they were pissed.
The kids were?
They were so angry and cranky. They were asleep in 10 minutes.
Wow.
And didn't wake up at all. So
Wait, so you got in the car at 7,
which would have been 6:00.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they went to bed earlier if, the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, like an hour and a half early. So then Monday night was like, it was normal. We would normally go to bed at 7:30, 8:00, and the clock said 7:30 or 8, but it would have been 6:37, right? So they went to bed at the right time, but it was still early for them.
Sure.
And then yesterday we went to the beach because I was off, and nobody napped. Well, Mabel napped, but Charlotte May did not nap.
Mabel's nobody.
So we were in bed. No, I forgot she napped. She took a short nap. It wasn't like she took a short nap.
That was a bad joke.
It was
That one's for all you Odysseus fans out there.
Odysseus?
Yeah, nobody. With the Cyclops. He told the Cyclops his name was Nobody. So when the Cyclops ran out, it was like, somebody stabbed my eye, and they're like, who did it? Nobody. That's what I was going. That's where my mind went.
Yes. It's been a long time since I've read the Odyssey. A long time.
Anyway, you guys seem to be adjusting okay, though. Like, your girls are going to bed at a normal time.
No, so we went to bed last night at 7, which would have been 6. So again, we were early. And then I was tired too, so I came out at 8:00, and then it takes Tuesday. But it was like tonight, they were in bed at the normal time, so like 7:30, and you could tell they were like, nope, I'm up. Let's play. They were not having bedtime tonight. So, and then we put them in bed and sang, and we left, and they were fine. So
yeah, it sounds like though, like your girls just adjusted very quicker than you were expecting them to.
I think it's because we wore them out.
They were ready for bed when the clock said bedtime.
But I think we just wore them out, and then they were so tired they couldn't stay up anymore. So that kind of reset them.
Yeah, maybe.
How about you? What about your family?
My family's not adjusting well.
Your family does not adjust every time, man.
Every time, man.
Every time change.
So, and I actually got really excited because right before daylight savings, we were in Disney World and doing that whole thing. And so, I don't know if you've seen those TikToks or those parent hacks that are like, oh, all you have to do is move bedtime up 10 minutes earlier every night, and then your kids are ready, or move back 10 minutes later, and then they won't notice. That's BS. That does not work.
we go to bed sometime between 7 and 8:00.
Yeah, that's more of a time frame. So there's not like a set time. That is BS.
I can't change it to 6:50 and 8 or 7:50.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense.
So, but we were in Disney, so we didn't even get to do any kind of prep work. But so we get home Saturday, and then Sunday morning, the kids slept until 7:30. And we were like, wow, this is great. They slept in. Like, we really wore them out at Disney World. They slept in an hour. This is cool. And then I came, it took me all day to realize, wait a minute.
The clock's changed.
The clock changed. They didn't sleep in. They woke up at the normal time. We're just an hour ahead. So I was like, oh, all right, well, that makes sense at least. But still, like every morning this week, I've had to wake my son up to get him ready for school because he just he's not feeling it. They're going to bed okay, like a couple
but not
nights,
getting up.
A couple nights this week, they've been like, no, this doesn't feel like bedtime. Like the sun is not in the right position.
I mean, we're only 4 days into this.
Yeah, seriously.
4 bedtimes.
I'm kind of hoping though that like it is rough waking Titus up because we have to kind of rush him through the morning routine to get him where he needs to go. But if I can just drag this out to the weekend, Marcy's going out of town.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be alone with the kids. And if I can like just keep that sleep until 7:30 thing, that'll make for a nice weekend.
Yeah.
If I can just keep that
look,
going.
I can dig that. Just keeping. What time do you have to leave the house?
In the mornings we try to be like walking out the door at 7:30. And so now my kids are waking up.
So you've got to get them up at 7.
Yeah, we
to rush out.
Yeah, usually they're up by 6:30, and usually they're up before that. But we kind of start engaging with them at 6:30.
Sure.
And lately we've been getting them up at 7. Like we just open the door. We'll leave Titus's door open and just kind of start making noise. And this morning we had it wide open.
We
and the
do that with
bathroom
Mabel.
light just shines into his room. And me and Riley were having a discussion in the bathroom, and I thought he was sleeping because she came in to get the stool. She wanted to move the stool into the kitchen because she likes to help in the kitchen, and we'll circle back to that in a little bit.
Yes, we will.
And I kept saying, like, Riley, you can't pick that up right now. Again, we'll circle back to that in a little bit. And Titus just yells from his room, I can pick it up. I'm strong. I was like, that's cute. I'm glad
Very
you're
sweet.
participating in this. Get out of bed now.
Is that how you said that?
Paraphrase.
I'm glad you're participating in this. Get out of bed now.
Yeah. It was like, oh, that's kind of sweet. I'm glad you're awake and cognizant enough to comprehend this conversation that you're not included in, but here we are.
That's great. Well, what happened with the stool?
Riley carried it. She made it work. She made it work. I was going to talk about this daylight savings. We might not have to deal with it anymore.
No, we're going to have to deal with it forever now.
Well, yeah, I guess that's the better way to say it. We won't have to deal with the time change anymore because the hero of the Senate, Florida Senator Marco Rubio, has proposed the most brilliant bill that has passed Congress unanimously.
Given those parameters, that may be correct. And if we're talking brilliant like the sun, then it's definitely correct.
Very apt description.
So for those of you that don't know, Marco Rubio sponsored a bill to end the time change, to end standard time. So we would no longer have standard time. We would be on a permanent daylight time. So like if we are in Florida, so we're on Eastern time, right? So we have the Eastern Standard Time, which we just left, and we are currently in Eastern Daylight Time. So like if you ever see the EST and the EDT, that's what that stands for. So we would now be in
permanent daylight saving
permanent
time.
DST is what they're going with, daylight saving time.
Yeah.
And I have a slight issue with this. I have always been one to like, we should do it with, I was always on this side of it. Like you should get rid of daylight savings, like the time change.
Get rid of the time change, to be specific.
Because I've always called standard time daylight spending time, which I thought was hilarious. And because you have daylight saving time and daylight spending time, right? It gets dark at like 5 o'clock sometimes.
Yeah, I would say that the dads out there could borrow that joke, but you know what? It's going to be irrelevant here in a little bit.
It's going to be irrelevant. It may not be, because what I propose, we do not do away with either. We just switch them. Because the way it is currently, it gets dark in the summer, sometimes at 9 o'clock at night.
Is that too late for you?
And then in the winter, it gets dark at 5 o'clock at night. That is a 4-hour difference. Right? That's a big change. So if we didn't change anything, we're looking at a 3-hour change, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what I propose, what I say, is we switch it. So daylight saving time happens in the winter and daylight spending time happens in the summer.
So you want to, like your daughters are doing, you want to fall forward and spring back.
And spring back. Exactly.
Interesting.
Exactly.
It's going to be a hard sell, John. I'm not going to lie.
Why, though?
Because of the time change. That's the part that people don't like.
I know. The time change is the thing, but...
Like, that gaining an hour of sleep is wonderful, but that losing an hour of sleep is dreadful. It just it ruins your whole week. I
have noticed, especially since I've been a parent, I don't notice it. Like, I notice it because I'm supposed to notice it in my kids, but, like, it doesn't affect me.
Yeah.
And mainly because I'm groggy that Sunday anyways, because I spent all Saturday night awake.
Yeah.
Like, I stayed up too late.
Either way, I mean, I stopped noticing it when I got a smartphone, you know, and I didn't have to set that clock. Like, I wasn't worried, like, got to set my clock an hour earlier so that I can wake up at the right time. My smartphone does that for me. My computer updates for me. I didn't. My atomic clocks don't. Like, I have to go set those manually. Are they still running the atomic satellites or whatever? Because my atomic clocks never work.
That's not how that works.
They're supposed to, like, sync to some satellite, right? And that's how they get the right time?
No.
Then why do they have a little picture of a satellite on them?
I don't know. Atomic clocks go off of an atomic decay.
I think maybe
it actually uses
atomic clock
decay.
Was like the brand, like the first one, I think. And it connected to some satellite, and you had to point it west, and that's how it like connected.
Oh.
And then it was given like the exact time, like
that's different.
The time that's on your phone, and I have like 2 of those in my house, and I always have to set them manually. They don't work anymore.
Okay, so timeanddate.com. With an error of only 1 second in up to 100 million years, atomic clocks are among the most accurate timekeeping devices in history. In an atomic clock, the natural oscillations of atoms, like the pendulum in a grandfather clock, however, atomic clocks are far more precise than conventional clocks because atomic oscillations have a much higher frequency and are much more stable. I don't know what they use, though.
I don't know.
Anyways, atomic clocks
I think it was
use
the brand.
atomic isolation. But there are clocks that go off of the satellite, but they have to, like, it's got to see the satellite. And if it can't see it because it's inside or there's trees, you know, whatever, then it's not going to work.
Oh, that's a waste of money then. I'll just use my phone.
Atomic clocks are great, though.
Yeah,
so
get them to work.
Neil deGrasse Tyson, there's a video of him on somewhere, and he's doing an interview, and he uses an Apple phone.
Yeah.
And the interviewer says, well, why do you use Apple? And he says, well, what do you use? And the guy uses a Samsung. He says, put your phone on the table. So they put their phones on the table, and they've got the always on display on, right? So they can just see the clock. And Neil deGrasse Tyson's clock changes like 3 seconds before the other guys, right? And he's like, that's why. Because this runs off of an atomic clock off Greenwich Mean Time or whatever, which is like, that's like the standard time.
Yeah.
It's like 0 is Greenwich Mean. So it runs off of that, and I don't know how exactly it works, but it's precise to like the millisecond. He says, if I'm gonna have an amazing piece of technology, I want it to be precise.
You know, I gotta say, I got a lot of respect for Neil deGrasse Tyson. I follow him every social media platform I can. I wish he posted more on TikTok.
Yep.
But that is a really dumb reason to use an Apple phone.
Yep.
Come on, just because the clock. I agree. Anyway, our hero Marco Rubio is going to save us from this time change tragedy.
Let's not call him a hero. It's going to let it go to his head.
This is his legacy.
Yeah, well, let's hope.
Anyway, we had another tragedy at our house this week.
A tragedy? No,
a real tragedy. It's like it's like a very tropey tragedy.
A tropey tragedy. Did your goldfish die?
No, not that tropey. more parent related. We have had the classic hand on the eye of the stove injury.
Oh no! You let him touch the stove. He said he wanted to touch the stove, and you said, "Don't do it; it's going to hurt." And he said, "But I want to do it anyways." So then you said, "All right, kid, do it."
Not exactly.
No.
No, I wasn't in there. And that's electrical. You're thinking of electrical sockets, I think. Like with the fork. And
no, I'm thinking of stoves because the electrical socket, I scream at Mabel. That kid likes to put stuff in electrical sockets.
Yeesh, that's scary. Yeah, so my daughter loves to help in the kitchen. We've talked about this in the pod before.
Both of my daughters like to help in the kitchen.
I hate it. It's so stressful because she's two, and like there's hot things and sharp things and
let me play with this thing and bang it on your hand, and that thing is a knife.
So, and my mom will send me pictures because like she does the same thing at my mom's house. And so we'll be doing whatever and the kids will be with my mom and she'll send me a picture of my daughter cutting strawberries.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a Play-Doh knife. And so like my daughter did this on her own. Like my mom didn't give her this Play-Doh knife, but it is sharp enough to actually cut. And so she'll do watermelon. It's not like super sharp, like it'll cut your hand, but it's sharp enough to cut a strawberry. You know, she'll get through a strawberry, she'll get through a watermelon. Yeah. And so that's what she does.
Not the rind, the red part.
Yeah, the red part. Like soft fruit, she can get through that. But she loves to help. And so it's kind of random because if she sees you in the kitchen, she's like, oh, I want to help. And so she'll go get the stool and bring it in like she did the other morning and want to help. And so I was getting out of the shower in the morning. So she's in the kitchen with my wife. And my wife is cooking eggs on this stove, on the skillet. And she takes the frying pan and she tells Riley, like, hey, it's hot. Don't touch that. But, you know, what is hot and cold to a toddler that has never really experienced hot and cold? To really differentiate from that. It's just words. It's like, hey, it's hot. It's like, yeah, that's a word to her. Like, oh, it's hot. I wonder what hot is. So Marcy takes...
I assume she knows now.
I assume. But the story doesn't end there.
No.
She takes the frying pan, goes to put on the plate, and like the second Marcy walks away, Riley just goes full right hand on the eye.
Oh no.
And it was rough. It was heartbreaking.
Ow.
Because she cried for like a solid hour.
Oh,
and it's like, there's nothing I can do to help you. You know, we put some aloe on it. We put some cool water on it. But that's all we can do. And then we just kind of had to wait. And she's got some nice sized blisters on her hand now. Which is rough. She's doing okay. Like it doesn't seem to bother her anymore.
That's good.
She just kind of keeps her right hand just palm up all the time.
Really?
Yeah. And she was like afraid to get in the bath because she's like, I don't want to burn my hand. And so we had to run her hand under some water. Like the water's not going to hurt you. It's okay. So we can get her in the bath. We're just trying to keep it clean.
I got a question about baths. Keep talking.
But you'd think that she learned her lesson the day after she burns her hand. You'd think the day after, the morning after, Marcy's in the kitchen. She's getting stuff ready. And Riley's like, I'm going to go get the stool because I want to help Mom in the kitchen. So her spirit is unwavering.
That's good. That's good. She got back up on the saddle.
Yep, she got back. And that's why she was trying to pick up the stool. And I was like, Riley, you can't pick that up right now. You have one hand. Like, what are you going to do? And that's when Titus yelled from his bed, I'll help. I'm really strong. And Riley's just like, F that. I'm not waiting for him. You know, just bear hugged it and hold it out.
With the left hand only.
Well, no, she got both hands around it, but she kept her palm, like her hand away from it.
Oh,
yeah, she just kind of hugged it to her chest and was like, I'm on my way, man. I don't need your help.
And then what happened?
We got her. We weren't using the stove this morning, so that was.
But
Did
she put her hand anywhere near the stove?
I don't know. Like Marcy was in the kitchen again, so I wasn't there with her, but she is ready to get back in the kitchen.
Good.
But it's like, man, it's an experience.
Hopefully she's learned her lesson, and you've got to trust that she's learned it.
Hopefully she is wary of some things that she thinks are hot. So now it's just identifying, like now she knows that's like what hot means, like a bathtub. And so we kept the water a little cool so it didn't burn, but trying to keep the keep the hand clean, keep the infection away.
So quick question. This is not even close to on our topics tonight. When you give your kids baths, how hot is the bathtub? Like, would you get in that water?
I mean, I would, but it's not hot. Like, it's lukewarm probably at best.
Because I have a feeling that my water is too hot when I put my kids in the bath.
Maybe. Do they say anything about it?
Like, no, like what I'll do is I'll turn the water all the way on. Like, it's all, because I hate this new style of like shower handle where it's like it's off and then you turn it on and then it's cold, but then it gets lukewarm and then hot.
Yeah.
Like I hate that. I just want to like set it and turn it on or off.
Yeah, like you want to set
or
the
give me
dial
2
and
knobs.
Yeah, pull it in, pull it out.
Yeah, the old style.
Yeah,
But so what I do, because it takes forever for our water to get hot,
yeah.
and it has in almost every house I've lived in. You turn the water all the way on, and then when I'm giving them a bath, this is what I do. And I turn the water all the way on. I'll put some soap in it, and then I turn the shower head on. So then I use the little shower head to pull. Cause
Okay, you got like it on the hose.
Yeah, with the hose, and then because it makes more bubbles,
Okay.
right? And then I don't want like a bubble bath with like 10 bubbles in it. I want like a bubble bath that's like, where's all the water? Like where it's overflowing with bubbles. So I use the head to make the bubbles, so it's hot, but it's coming out of the thing, so it gets a chance to cool down. And like I'll stick my hand in it, and I don't think it's all that hot.
Yeah.
My girls will get in the bathtub, and they don't have an issue with it, but I still think it might be a little too hot.
Maybe. I don't know. Have your wife test it?
I mean, she does it different than me, so it's like
different experience.
She's different, just different. So
I have heard, to your credit, that turning the water all the way on in like a shower like that is a good water saving technique. Because if you want, you stand there for however long waiting for the water to warm up. If you put it all the way hot, theoretically it's going to take
only
less
hot
time.
water should be coming out.
Only hot water is going to be coming through, so it should take less time.
Oh, sure. Yeah, absolutely. No, what I will do if it's like, if I decide that it's getting too hot, is I'll turn it to like the middle, because then you get full pressure of hot and cold.
Yeah.
So you make more bubbles, and then it's not just hot. So.
What I love about our house, particularly for our shower, is the water heater is literally on the other side of the wall.
Oh, so yeah, that's
you don't have to wait. My kitchen, on the other hand, takes forever for the sink to get hot, but the shower and the sinks in the bathroom almost immediately, which is really nice. It does cut in other houses, like that was a little bit of chill time, and it's like turn the shower on, and you're like, I'm gonna enjoy the sound of the water.
I'm gonna go poop while I'm waiting for the water to get hot.
I'm gonna enjoy this ambiance for a little bit. You don't get that anymore at our house.
No, it's on.
It's ready. It's ready when you turn the water on. It's there for you. But yeah,
it's like that in our shower.
We kind of just put it straight up and down. Like we have a similar handle. Like it doesn't.
Yeah.
The water pressure and the temperature are on the same gauge.
Right.
So we just kind of flip it up to the middle and let it ride.
For the kids,
yeah, when the kids get in there.
Yeah.
So, and they are, I think, again, because I don't know that they really have a context for what hot and cold is. Maybe this is an experiment we can do with them to help illustrate that, without a burning stove, so we can say this is hot. It's gonna hurt. Like have a cup of hot water and a cup of cold water, and be like, touch this.
Yeah,
that's cold. Touch this. That's hot.
The cup, not the water.
The cup. Well, a cup or the water, whatever. Yeah. Like just so they get a context of what hot and cold is.
Yeah.
Because like when you give them the warning, hey, this is hot, don't touch it. But they don't, like, you've never called anything else hot before. You can't see hot.
Right. See, the way I've always viewed it is like is your tone. So like if something's yucky,
yeah,
like my kids will pick something up off the ground, like, ew, that's yucky. Put that down.
You're not like, hey,
it doesn't matter what it is.
You're like, ew, yucky. You kind of get nasally with it.
No, just it's yucky. It's yucky. Don't touch that. And the face you're making, like ew. And then like if something's sharp, ouch, that's sharp, that'll hurt you.
Uh-huh.
And you got to put that into the voice. Not that they know what that means, but
yeah, from the inflection, it's like, oh, this is something they don't want me to touch, but that makes me want to touch it.
Hey, you know what? If that still makes you want to touch it, then
yeah, because you can't really see hot and cold. Apparently, you can hear hot and cold. Have you seen that?
Who was that? Was that that wasn't Hank Green? No, I just watched like an hour of his videos.
Congratulations.
I did see it.
Yeah. If you have like a hot tea kettle, well, it doesn't have to be a tea kettle, but it's easy to make a tea kettle hot. If you have hot water versus cold water, you can hear the difference. Like the warm water is just a little bit, it's almost like a muted guitar, I want to say. Like it almost sounds like you're palm muting as it hits. It lands a little softer when you're pouring it in.
Interesting. I thought it had more depth. Because like the cold water is more viscous.
Yeah.
So I And when you pour like a cup of hot tea, it gets that good like deep.
Yeah, it's like
sound.
a softer sound, not softer as in like quieter, but it just like it feels softer, smoother.
Interesting.
Where like the cold water is more of a sharper, like slapping against the side of the cup.
Oh yeah, definitely. Okay,
that's what I'm going. That's what I think when I hear.
I see what you're saying. Yeah,
the softer versus the slap.
Yeah, for sure. Because I pour cold water all the time. But that's a good experiment we should try is the hot and cold water.
Just so they can experience it. And they can they can touch a little bit. It's not going to burn them, but it's like that's going to hurt when you touch it, but it's not going to like leave a scar or anything. So I only have one more thing I really wanted to bring up because this is fascinating. And it's about Encanto. It was something trending.
Encanto.
Trending on Twitter today. The voice actor for Mirabel, Stephanie Beatriz, Rosa Diaz, as I know her better, apparently she recorded one of the songs while in labor. Were you on Twitter today? Did you see this trending? No,
I don't believe it.
You don't believe it?
I don't believe it.
I'm only reading the headlines. I'm going to be honest with you, but
no. All right.
Look, here's a quote. I didn't want to tell anybody at Disney because I didn't want anyone to freak out.
I Googled Encanto. You ready?
Is it the first thing that came up?
It gives me IMDb, and then it says recent news, and the first one is a Yahoo link. Encanto singer Stephanie Beatriz recalls going into labor while recording hit song. That is different than records it while in labor.
Let's see. What is the headline? Well, it says, this is from HuffPost. Actor Stephanie Beatriz reveals she recorded Encanto song while in labor. Which song do you think it was? It's very fitting, actually.
Stephanie continued, I was like, well, fingers crossed. I finished the song before the baby comes.
Stop reading the article. Guess what song it is.
I'm trying to. What? It's the... Where she... I don't know the song list. Is it the one where she's singing after, what's his name gets it? Antonio gets his gift?
Yes.
Waiting on a Miracle?
Waiting on a Miracle. How fitting.
Oh, that is pretty fitting.
How crazy.
Hey, look. There it is.
I think I had heard that she was pregnant around the recording of this. But yeah, this is the first I heard about. I guess it's the first everybody heard about her starting labor while singing that song.
I was already having some contractions when we were scheduled to record that day.
But hey, man, this is Disney. Like, you don't mess up that chance. You do what you got to do.
I mean, what day was it?
I've never been in labor.
I've
never been in labor. I don't know how that works or feels. I've only seen my wife go through it. It's crazy.
She wrote in the caption, it's all caps incredible and all caps hard AF and all caps beautiful and all caps emotional. And I can't remember ever being this amazed and feeling so overwhelmingly full of gratitude. Roz, you are so cool. She named her daughter Rosalind Haas.
Very cool. I just thought that was a fascinating fact for today.
I think that is quite fascinating. And if it's like anything like my wife who went into labor, she started her contractions at 1 a.m. and woke me up so I could be with her while she was having contractions.
Wow. She really
cares. And it was like she'd have a contraction and then and then it would go for like 30 minutes and she wouldn't have anything. And then she'd have a contraction. And then 30 minutes.
What do they call that? There's a name for that. Or like, if they're not like fake quote unquote contractions.
The Braxton Hicks?
That's it. Yeah, those like
but no, but these were like the morning Charlotte May was born.
Yeah.
It started at 1 a.m. And then it was like, oh my God, I love you. But like, I feel like she could have done that. And like at that stage, because Charlotte May wasn't born until 5 at night, so it was a solid 16 hours.
Yeah, do the math there.
Later, so yeah, really.
I mean, I guess you could record a Disney soundtrack while in labor. I mean, Stephanie Beatriz has proved it. But hey, you go, girl. Yeah. That was crazy.
Listen, I don't mean to diminish that at all. That is awesome. Giving birth is amazing, and if you want to come onto our podcast,
yeah, come talk about it. We love Encanto. My kids would love to meet you. That's a wrap.
I like Mirabel.
Thanks for hanging out with us on the Dad Shoes Podcast, the dad group where you don't have to talk to anyone, but we'd love to hear from you. Please talk to us. What are your thoughts on today's topic? Daylight savings time, you for it? You against it? Is Marco Rubio your new hero? What is like the latest accident that your child has experienced? Have you ever had the hand on the stove? Thanks for hanging out.
So, did you know that if you keep the subtitles on your movies, like on like Star Wars in particular, or like Encanto, the parts that are in another language are translated in the
yes,
the captions. Like it comes up when they say something, it comes up in the captions in English. So there's no subtitles, it's just the captions. I thought it was cool.
Yep.
Peace.